Well, hello, beautiful soul. Today's topic is about intuition. On the first part of the video, we will look at what intuition is and where it comes from. Then we will seek to understand why certain people don't have an inner voice to guide them. And finally, we will explore 7 actionable ways that everyone can use to develop and strengthen your intuition. On to part 1. Don't we all wish you could make the best decisions for ourselves at every given time? I met some people at crossroads battling with themselves while having to make some big decisions. They spend sleepless nights trying to figure out the right decision for themselves. Others have to call forums of friends and anyone else who can listen and give them guidance to reach the best decisions, especially when navigating early adulthood. We all have the voice of truth speaking to us that can help us to navigate through life with ease. The inner voice, or intuition as some call it, speaks your truth. It's your soul guiding compass in life. We all have intuition or the inner voice. To prove this to you, do you remember the one time you decided to do one thing and then it went south? I'm sure you remember saying, I knew this would happen. Or I should have trusted my gut instinct. I had this gut feeling, yet I ignored it. That's your intuition or your inner voice that spoke to you then, but you ignored it. If we all learn to use our intuition correctly, it would eliminate a lot of human pain and consequently the suffering that we put ourselves into when we make certain decisions. That said, I must remind us all that there is no right or wrong decision when it comes to life. We need to appreciate that there is only free will to choose. Ultimately, the decision you make is necessary for your growth and expansion. Now that we know that we all have an inner voice, let's look at some of the reasons why some people can't hear their inner voice, while to others, intuition is like a loud scream that they just can't ignore. The number one reason you might not be hearing your inner voice is you've been ignoring it for some time. Ignoring your intuition over and over leads to your fears and mind getting louder and louder while your intuition grows weaker and weaker. You might not hear your intuition because you're stuck in past pains and hurts, and that leads you to making decisions based on fear instead of your intuition. Second reason is you worry about everybody's opinion. If we have people in our lives giving us their opinions instead of encouraging us to listen to our inner voice, we end up diminishing the voice. The truth is everyone has an opinion about what's best for you if you ask them. The other truth is, they most likely don't know what's best for them in the first place. If they did, they would encourage you to look within you to find the truth you're seeking, because that's the only place to find that truth. The third reason you might not be hearing your inner voice is that your mind is clogged up with clutter and chatter. The inner voice is a very subtle voice, very gentle. If your mind is full of thoughts and things going on in there, you can never hear your inner voice. The fourth reason you might not be hearing your inner voice is due to your past hurts and traumas. If you have been hurt in the past, which we all have, and you're bearing a lot of traumas, you might find it really difficult to hear your inner voice, let alone trust it. In this case, the voice that speaks to you is the voice of fear, which is what is activated by traumas in our lives. Regardless of how long ago the trauma occurred, as long as you don't work on healing it, the shadow that develops from that trauma will always activate fear in you when you need to make a decision that has a connection to your previous experience. A typical example is an abusive or unfaithful romantic relationship. Most people who've been through such kind of relationships carry that trauma into their current relationships, and every time are seeking the same pattern from their previous relationship in their current relationship. They will live in suspicion of their current partner, telling themselves that their intuition tells them that they're abusive or they're unfaithful in their relationship. My suggestion is, even if you think your inner voice is misguiding you, listen to it, maybe even speak to it and ask where it's coming from. In this way, you're not only seeking to connect with your inner voice, you are also seeking to look into your traumas, and that is how you heal. The more you trust your instincts, the more you strengthen your intuition. Now that we know why we can't hear our inner voice, here are 7 actionable ways to help you develop and strengthen your intuition. Step number 1, good old meditation. As I said earlier, your inner voice messages are very subtle. You need to quiet your mind in order to hear them. Meditation and intuition are both connected with strengthening your subconscious mind. And just like any other muscle in the body, the more you do it, the stronger they grow. We all know that if you don't work on a muscle, then it grows weaker by the day. Try 10 to 20 minutes every day to quiet your mind and focus on your inhale and exhalation breaths. Second step is listen to your feelings and your body. Intuition will speak to you through feelings in your body. If something or someone gives you an uncomfortable feeling in your chest or in your stomach or a headache, which is how intuition presents for most people, do not ignore those feelings. Our feelings are our messengers. Remember that intuition can also be clogged up by past hurts and traumas. So these feelings of tightening in the chest or a headache or whatever uncomfortable feeling you get could be a stress response in your body due to fear that comes from your previous hurt or traumas. Either way, pay attention to your body and maybe even ask the feeling where it's coming from. What are you trying to tell me? Ask your feelings these questions. You might have feelings of peace or a weight being lifted off your shoulders when you make certain decisions. When you have finally made a decision, listen to the messages that come to you through your body and emotions. Step number 3, find ways of being creative or artistic. Do some coloring, free flow journaling, write whatever comes to mind, draw, paint, or just scribble if you prefer. This has an ability to quiet the cognitive mind and pave way for your intuition to speak. Step 4, test your instincts. Do you always know when someone is bad news? Did you have this instinct that there was something wrong with your friend's new guy? Sometimes write down your hunches and then come back to reread them in future. You will be surprised at how intuitive you already are. Step number 5, keep an eye on your dreams. Whether you remember your dreams or not, we all dream when we go to sleep. For most part, when our reasoning mind is too crowded, we seem unable to hear our subconscious mind or our inner voice, which is the wellspring of our intuition. When you fall asleep, your waking mind is quiet and it opens the door for your subconscious mind to send through signals to you in your dreams. Don't ignore them. Step number 6, learn from past experiences. That gut feeling you had before something happened, or that decision that you made that went south, did you have a feeling about it that you ignored? Did it come to you in your dreams? You can use journaling or whatever and write down as much as you can remember. You need to be able to notice your intuition signals to be able to respond appropriately. Again, the more you can do this, the more you learn to hear and trust your intuition when it warns you in future. Step number 7, place yourself in alignment with your values. Your ego-driven conscious mind tends to draw you away from what matters most to you. Try to sense how making a decision that doesn't align with your value makes you feel, and it can teach you how it feels like when you're going against your integrity. Notice also how it feels like when you act in alignment with your values, and this way you will know more how your intuition feels like when communicating with you. Whatever the inner voice tells you, remember to always say thank you. When you're grateful for the guidance, you're building and strengthening your relationship with your intuition. When it's all said and done, remember that our souls have their unique journeys and lessons to learn. Therefore, only you would know the best decision for you. Regardless of how many people you talk to, you will make the decision that's best for the expansion of your own soul, even if you consider it to be the wrong decision. There is no wrong or right decision. They are equally important for you to learn and grow in life. If you've made a decision that you consider wrong, the most intuitive thing to do is ask time and again, what do I need to learn from this experience? What are you trying to teach me? Your intuition will guide you to your lessons. Finally, always remember, you are your highest, wisest, most trusted friend you will ever have. Therefore, cultivating a good relationship with your own inner voice should be your highest priority. Let me know your thoughts and how you go if you try my suggestion to rebuild your intuition. Again, it's a big thank you for watching. Have a good week.